We rolling? Looks like it. All right, so hello, my fellow classmates. My name is Collin Flynn, for those of you who do not know me by face. So for my project today, I decided to do something that I very much enjoyed back in high school and have been going for a long time. It's one of my favorite card games I've ever played. So it is a card game that is known as Magic: The Gathering. And if those of you who don't know what it is, imagine something similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! In the concept that you summon monsters in order to reduce your opponent's life points to zero. You do this by spending mana in order to summon the monsters to hit your enemy. But there are actually some special cards used in the game known as Planeswalkers. And these are different than normal monsters in that um, they hurt your opponent, yes, but they also have their own special abilities and actions that they can take. They're treated kind of like as another player rather than just another monster. Now, I could go on for hours and hours and hours about how to play it, the lore behind it, the different ways you could build a deck around Magic. But what I'm going to be talking about today is actually one of the planeswalkers that I just mentioned earlier, who is very central to the story. And this is Liliana Voss, who is the aspect of death in the lore of Magic. She is a necromancer with immense healing abilities and, of course, control over all the dead. And today I'm going to be going over her origin story, how she got to the point that she is right now. What started her off specifically. So Liliana was a incredible healer, a prodigy, if you will, in the little village that she grew up in. She was taught by her mentor, Lady Anna, who is an immense healer in her own right. But on the sidelines, Liliana was actually dabbling in necromancy as well. And she was doing it so much that she got to the point that she was pretty good at it for what it was worth. She learned the basics and a little bit more of that. But, however, Liliana was a bit of a spoiled child. This is because of both her mentor in small respect, but mostly because of her older brother and father, who were both in the military. So, of course, she was very spoiled in that respect and very cocky in her own abilities. But one day this would be put to the test in an extreme measure. She came back home one day from going out in the fields to discover that her older brother was on death's door. This was because while out on patrol, he was ambushed by the enemy and left in a critical condition. He was dying on his bed as she watched him. So Lady Anna, her mentor again, had already discovered a way to save him, and Lily Anna knew exactly what they needed. It was known as an eldritch root, which grew in a tree that was in the forest nearby. So Lily Anna, in a haste, scurried out into the forest in order to retrieve said root in order to save her brother. However, when she got to where the tree was, she was met with horror as she realized that the tree was reduced to ash. So she went on her knees in absolute despair over her situation. While doing this, however, she was greeted by a man in black who to this day she only can refer to as the Raven Man. He told her that the enemy who ambushed her brother originally had come back and burned the tree down to the roots, so all that was left of it was just ash. However, he knew somehow of her necromantic abilities, and he told her that if she applied them to her brother, it could save him. It could even make him better than before. So, armed with this information, confident in what the Raven Man told her and in her own abilities, she grabbed a handful of the ash and scurried back to her brother in order to try to save him. When she got there, she ignored her mentor's teachings and compiled a concoction in order to try to save her brother. And it seemed to work. The moment she used it on him, her brother sprang back up to life better than ever before in perfect health. This lasted for about a minute until her older brother started screaming out in pain, being like torn apart from the inside out, before eventually taking his last breath and dying right then and there. So Liliana was obviously completely demoralized after all this, heartbroken at her situation, what she had done to her brother, causing this much agony. While everyone left, she just knelt by his bedside and started weeping, at her brother's legs. While she was doing this, however, Her brother finally again sprang back up to life. This time, though, he was still dead. She had unwillingly brought him back as an undead and cursed him to live forever in complete agony. He was in an eternal amount of torment in this state. And so her brother, upon seeing her, his beloved sister, tries to kill her for the immense amount of pain that he's in right now that she caused him. So, bereaved with grief about what she's done, Liliana flees from the household after restraining her brother, escaping her father and her mentor, and escapes out into the field. And, well, from there, I'll let you guys go on to Google and go from there because, again, there's a whole lore about magic and it extends much further past this point with just Liliana. And if you don't want to listen to more of that, you can just go ahead and look at the other planeswalkers. There are 4 other ones, one for each element in the game. And doing your own research about that. I highly recommend it. This is an amazing game. The characters have an immense history, and it's actually beautiful, and for lack of a better word. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I hope this inspired you to try out the card game. Maybe do some bit of research about the character yourself if you enjoyed this. And I'll be talking to you guys all later. Peace.